I'm really a criminal trying not to be one. I'm so honest about it. Like I've been arrested for 26 violent felonies.
Oh my God.
All violent.
Who are you fighting?
Everyone. I love to fight. It's my favorite thing to do. That is my problem.
The man laughing about his arrest record is a multi-platinum songwriter from Atlanta named Justin Wright. This was filmed on a talk show about a month before Mother's Day of 2021. Sitting just off camera that day was a 20-year-old woman who had crossed the country chasing a dream and who trusted him. Her name was Wilanna Bibbs. Within weeks, she would be dead on the floor of his mother's house, shot in the back, and the argument that ended her life was reportedly over $70.
She had texted me that morning that she was killed. She just told me she loved me and that, to give her a call. But I had to go to work. So I was at work. I get my phone before when I went to my car. She had called me like 4 times in a row, and I was on the phone with her dad. I said, "Did you talk to her?"
4 missed calls on Mother's Day from a daughter her mother would never speak to again. And here is the detail that haunts this whole case. In the minutes before she was shot, Wilanna reached out to a friend and said her boyfriend was going to kill her. She saw it coming. So did the people who loved her. This is the case of Wilanna Bibbs. This is the Crime Almanac. Real cases on the record. If that is what brought you here, take a second to subscribe before we go any further. Now, let's go back to who Wilanna really was. Wilanna Simone Bibbs was 20 years old, and she came from Durham, North Carolina. The people who loved her called her Bug. She was always building something. She ran her own mink lash line. She was starting a clothing brand. She worked whatever jobs kept the lights on. But underneath all of it was one dream that never changed. She wanted to sing. That dream is what carried her to Atlanta. And when you hear her talk about it, in her own words, you understand how much it meant to her.
Because everybody sees me, they want me to sing Treat Me Like Somebody. I don't want to be known as the girl that sings Treat Me Like Somebody anymore. It is annoying. I'm done with it. I want to be known for my own music.
She didn't want to be known for singing other people's songs. She wanted her own. And the people who heard her say she truly had the voice for it. So how does a young woman with that much ahead of her end up dead in another state on Mother's Day over pocket change? To understand that, you have to understand the man she'd been introduced to. Justin Wright, known in the industry as Jay, Wright was not a nobody. He had founded a record label back in 2011 and built real credits, working with some of the biggest names in the business. When the local news in Iowa reported his arrest, they led with exactly that.
31-year-old Justin Wright of Atlanta is facing first-degree murder charges. He's accused of killing 20-year-old Wilanna Bibbs of North Carolina. We've learned that Wright collaborates with well-known rap artists Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Bow Wow, and Gucci Mane.
Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Bow Wow, Gucci Mane. On paper, he was the kind of connected industry name a young singer might dream of meeting. He was 11 years older than Wilanna, but the man who showed up on that talk show couch was not hiding what lived underneath the resume. He said it out loud, on camera, in front of an audience, like it was something to be proud of.
I can see that.
I'm going to protect my family and my friends at all costs, no matter what that means for me. Absolutely. And I really stand by that. So if I got to go to jail behind that, die behind that, or kill behind that, I'm a man and I really stand on that. So if I got to sit down for a little while because of it, I'm going to sit down because of it.
Go to jail behind it. Die behind it. Kill behind it. Nobody watching that day could have known how literally he meant it. But there is one more person we have to talk about, because Wilanna did not meet Justin Wright by chance. She was introduced to him by her own best friend. That friend goes by the name Anne. She was Justin's ex and the mother of his young daughter. By Anne's own account, she had been with him since she was a teenager, and their history was long and, she says, abusive. Anne and Wilanna had been close. They traveled together. They trusted each other. And it was Anne who brought Wilanna into Justin's world. Here is where the story splits into 2 versions that have never been reconciled. In a recording that surfaced later, Ann suggested the introduction had been part of a plan. Wilanna's family has always fiercely rejected that and insisted their girl was an innocent pulled into something she could not see the shape of. What is not in dispute is that the danger was real and the people who loved Wilanna saw it coming.
It's just crazy because we could see the train wreck happening. We tried to get Wilanna out of it, but he sucked her back in, and then his mother also sent her money to fly back to be where he was at.
A train wreck they could see happening. Every time they pulled her back, something pulled her back in. And in May of 2021, Wilanna traveled with Justin and his little girl to Davenport, Iowa, to his mother's house on Calvin Street for a family birthday. Her own mother had a bad feeling about that trip. It is why she made her daughter promise to keep her phone's location turned on so the family could always see that she was safe. Then came Sunday, May 9th, Mother's Day. That morning, Wilanna texted her mom that she loved her and asked her to call. Then she called 4 times in a row while her mother was stuck at work. By early that afternoon, at around 1:25, Davenport police were sent to the house on Calvin Street for a domestic disturbance. When officers arrived, they found Wilanna. She had been shot in the back. A single bullet had torn through her spine, her heart, and her liver. She was pronounced dead right there, inside the home. She was 20 years old, and it was Mother's Day.
A man from Atlanta, Georgia, is in the Scott County Jail today. He is facing first-degree murder charges. Davenport police say this started with a disturbance on Sunday afternoon.
Justin Wright was arrested that same day and charged with first-degree murder, held on a $500,000 bond. And then he sat down across from a detective for hours. If you have ever wondered what a man looks like on the day he kills the woman he claimed to love, this interrogation is it. Because across all those hours, one thing is almost impossible to find: grief. He never breaks down over Wilanna. He never asks about her. Instead, when the detective gets him talking, this is what he wants to discuss.
She sent me some money that she owed me earlier.
She sent you earlier today? She sent you money?
Mm-hmm.
What? How'd she send you money?
Apple Pay, because I don't have.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How much money did she owe you?
It was just my money that I had sent to her.
Money. Hours after Wilanna is dead, he is calmly walking a detective through the money she had sent him that very day. This is the $70 her father would later talk about in court. A young woman's entire life weighed against a few dollars over a phone. And that man on the couch, the one who loved to fight. In the interrogation room, that man was suddenly nowhere to be found.
Have you ever messed around with guns back before kids, anything like that?
No, even when I was younger, people used to always like to say, like, I got into a fight here one time and the guy's eye socket got broke. He said I hit him with a tire iron, and then the video came out that he just got punched. So people have always said, oh, he likes guns, he likes to fight, and I'm like, no, I don't. I just defend myself when I have to.
Right.
I've never been that type of person. I've always been just trying to like do music and get money.
Now he was just a guy who does music and stays out of the way. The bragging was gone. In its place, he began to talk about himself as the real victim.
That he's a blood and these other bloods had put a $10,000 hit out on me.
A $10,000 hit out on his life. That was the story he wanted the detective to sit with, not the woman lying dead in his mother's house. Himself. And when that didn't land, something else began to surface.
I'm starting to hear voices and stuff in my head.
Okay.
And
when did that start?
I told my mom that I've been like feeling like I was gonna break, and I was hearing voices.
Voices in his head. A feeling that he was going to break. Whatever that performance was, a jury would later see straight through it. But before we get to the courtroom, there is one more painful chapter. Because after Wilanna died, she was put on trial in a place she never agreed to. On the internet. In the months that followed, Ann shared her side publicly and it went viral. Millions of views. And in the middle of that story was Wilanna, a dead woman who could not say a single word to defend herself. Her family watched strangers bash her by the thousands, treating her death like entertainment. They could not stay silent.
The only thing was real was that her baby daddy was abusing her. And yes, you have a right to tell your story, but why would you include a dead woman who cannot defend themselves and protect themselves? Like, what the hell? That's defamation, right? Defamation of character.
Why would you include a dead woman who cannot defend herself? That was the question Wilanna's family kept asking a world that had turned her final chapter into content. To them, only one thing was ever certain. Their girl was gone, and the man who took her needed to answer for it. And in a courtroom in Scott County, Iowa, he finally did. Justin Wright's trial ran for about 10 days in the spring of 2023. Prosecutors laid out the evidence, the physical proof that a gun had killed her, the witnesses. The defense pushed back where it could, pointing to other DNA found on the pistol and to witnesses who could not say exactly what they had seen. But the jury did not need long. They were out for only about 90 minutes before they came back. Guilty of first-degree murder. On the 14th of June, 2023, Justin Wright was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. He later tried to appeal. In January of 2025, an Iowa court shut that down. He is exactly where he belongs, and that is where he will stay. But a life sentence does not bring Wilanna back. In the weeks after she died, her community released balloons into the sky and marched in her name, and her family laid her to rest far from the state where she was killed. Every Mother's Day since has carried a weight her mother never asked for. Wilanna Bibbs was 20 years old, a daughter, a friend, an artist, a young woman who crossed the country chasing a dream and deserved decades more to chase it. She sang about wanting someone who would simply let her be free. Instead, she met a man who would rather she was gone than free of him. So let the last thing we remember about her not be how she died, but the voice she left behind.
Sing, mommy about to sing.
Somebody real is hard to find. Somebody worth all your time. Somebody who can tell you the truth. Someone who loves you for you. Someone who knows all of your flaws and doesn't impose, try to control them. Let you be free, doesn't deceive. They give you a chance to believe in something.
To Wilanna's family, and to everyone who loved her, our deepest condolences. Rest in peace, Wilanna Bibbs. If her story moved you, and if you believe she deserves to be remembered as more than a headline, take a moment to subscribe. This has been the Crime Almanac. Real cases kept on the record, because every case we cover is someone who deserved to be remembered.